Real quick. You got the definition of that real quick? Give me Deuteronomy while you get it. Read the definition over there. Can somebody see it over there? Cap, one of you guys look at it for me, please?
Yeah.
Balaam. Any of numerous local deities among the ancient Semitic peoples, typifying the productive forces of nature and worship with much sensuality.
Okay. You understand to worship Balaam is talking about whoredom, orgies. That's how they pull a lot of you to destroy your mind. They got you watching twerk videos all day. They got what you watching porn all day. I said this a million times before. You watching porn. What are you really looking at? A woman with two breasts? Everybody got daggone two breasts. Tell me she got three breasts and you're like, damn, I never seen that before. Same two breasts, and you ain't even touching it. It's on a friggin' screen. That's cyber sex. Foolishness. It's not like it's right in front of you, but it will eventually be in front of you. It will promote you to that. But the way to worship that God is to get them into whoredom, get them to start breaking God's commandments. They were worried. They were afraid of us. Watch this. Hold that in Numbers 22. Go to Deuteronomy 28. 28:10.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee.
And they're going to be afraid of you. They're going to be afraid of us when they see us called by the name of the Lord. We're no longer black, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Haitians. We call ourselves Israel. And then they will be afraid of us. So let's go back to Numbers 22. Verse 4.
The book of Numbers, chapter 22 and verse 4. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time.
They said Israel is growing. Look how they've been trying to destroy us, and you can't get rid of us. I said it before, if you get 144,000 men keeping God's commandments, do you understand what happens to this place? This place will implode. There will be anarchy in this country. And a multitude that no man can number. Try to wrap your mind around 144,000 men teaching God's commandments and the influence that it's going to have on people. Stop eating pork. You're bankrupt the food industry. This food industry is held up by pork, shrimp, and crabs. You get women out of pants. Fashion industry. You get them from whoredom. Medical. Jails won't be filled because you ain't breaking no, you ain't stealing. Just teaching the commandments is really revolution.
Hollywood would go down.
Oh,
you
man.
get them out of whoredom, Hollywood is over.
It's over. Rap World's over.
Over.
You understand the ripple effects, what comes from keeping God's commandments? Or you can go back to BET. See how that works for you. Let's go back to Revelations real quick. All people's asleep, boy. We jump on down to verse 20.
The book of Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 20. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee.
Hey, you talking about the church of Thyatira. Read on.
Because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication and to eat things sacrificed unto idols.
Now that woman Jezebel, or that spirit on that woman Jezebel, has forced people to commit fornication. I'm telling you, y'all being programmed by that music. You're gonna yield to it. Y'all being forced by what you put into your spirit. There's certain things, myself, I just don't watch. Because I understand if you keep on feeding yourself something, eventually it resonates in your behavior. It manifests. As a man thinketh, so is he. He is. So if you're watching stuff, you're thinking about it, you become that. People don't understand. Satan playing way up here, and Negroes are still friggin' trying to wonder about how do I pay this bill so I can make sure I can get HBO and Showtime. I need all the data on my phone so I can 4G stream porn.
Yeah. Unlimited data.
Yeah, I gotta get unlimited data plan. Yo, go to Ephesians 6. Satan playing over, and I'm talking about old people. I'm talking about church doesn't know old people. There's people leaving this congregation to go back to church. Lord forbid.
Church is really the instrument that Satan is using for a lot of the sins of America to go out. Because they prime your mind in the church to say God's laws are done away with. So you come to your place of worship saying, oh, okay, God's laws is done away with. Okay, cool. I guess I'm watching porn. Okay, I guess I'm selling drugs.
Right.
Everything is cool now. Church is the Christian church, not the Israelite church, because we're going to cast down every imagination that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. But when you go to the Christianity church, that becomes the doorway into sin because they're the ones that's giving provision for sin to take place.
You're in the Christian, listen, and you, come on.
Right now, those apologists, the Christians, they actually got a video out with Deuteronomy 28 trying to break it down in a Christian mindset, Christian perspective.
Okay, whoever I'm being honest now. Whoever has free time to watch that, watch it, and contact me, and explain it to me the way they. You know how many times I read Deuteronomy 28? Which other way is there to break it down? That's what Isaiah 28 is talking about. Right. When they stumble forward, backward, precept upon precept, that it become a snare to them. Listen, if you don't understand, this Bible was written by the Israelites, for the Israelites, to the Israelites in 2017. God bless your dumb self. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. I don't know how you get anybody else in the Bible. I'm standing back. Just re-explain to me. I'll keep quiet. I'll listen. That's not even a godly discourse. No, I won't listen. I'm sorry. I won't listen. Okay, what you gonna say, Cap?
For everybody on Periscope, he said it's a what?
It's the apologist.
Here, say it on mic. No, see if somebody can find it.
The Christian apologist is in the Faithful to God, his name. Christian apologist, they brought out a video breaking down Deuteronomy 28 from a Christian perspective. And really what they're doing, because I watched some of it, they're just, all the curses, they're just looking at it through the Babylonian captivity or Assyrian captivity. They're not linking it to today, even though they're cutting themselves by saying that we don't see it, like groping at noonday. They're saying, yeah, Israel is a folly because they didn't see the dangers they were doing. They didn't see that they weren't keeping commandments. So they keep cutting themselves, not even knowing what they're bringing out.
I could tear that apart just right now. Okay, show me verse 68. I know how we got down to Babylon. I could read how we got into Babylon. We walked. I could read that in the Bible. Jeremiah 40-something is right around there. Okay, so what about the ships? Right. And it says Egypt. Right. Babylon is not Egypt.
Right.
That's Mickey Mouse. Right. Mickey Mouse. I wouldn't waste my time with that crap. That's Mickey Mouse stuff.
That's Satan opening her mouth and sending that flood out.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's that flood trying to drown out the true understanding of God's word. Y'all got to understand that.
Can I pull a precept real quick, Bishop?
Sure.
Matthew 24:24.
Go.
It's heavy what Bishop is bringing out and what we're covering today, because Israel got to realize something, that we will not be deceived. The brothers and sisters that's keeping God's commandments, that love this truth and sincerity, we will not be deceived. Can you read that?
I'm sorry, where we at?
Matthew 24.
24.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 24. For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders.
It's mainly talking about Esau. That's who the Christianity, that's what it's talking about. Come on.
And shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible.
It said if it was possible. That's letting you know it's not. It said if it was possible. Come on.
Insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect.
You see that? The elect is not going to be deceived. That's why the Lord said, if he ain't leave that remnant, we'd be like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's exactly why we out here pushing this truth. The Lord has called and ordained us to do what we're doing in these last days right now. We're in a powerful time right now.
Every scripture. The Most High said he left prophets reserved to him. That ain't going nowhere. We're not going to fall for that. That Mickey Mouse stuff. Nobody's listen to me. That's what, I'll be honest with you, and I told you all before that those that know me, I watch very little video. Like I don't have no time for that stuff in my life. Are you serious? Understand the Bible is very simple. Keep God's commandments, believe on Christ. That is the crux of the Bible. I don't waste my time. That's how dudes be getting caught up. They watching and then they trying to, and they confuse themselves. They got bewitched. Okay, where we at? Ephesians. Yeah, Ephesians 6.
What verse you want, Bishop?
Let's start with verse 10.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God.
That's how you're strong in the Lord. You have to put on all the commandments. So leave a little hot pocket in you of, I still can't get past them twerk videos. It could be sometime, I know. Okay, leave that little hot pocket and see what it grows into. Put on all the commandments of God. Read on.
Let me fix that. Just hit Facebook. There you go. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might.
Read.
Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
That you can stand against the tricks of the devil. The devil is going to have tricks. It's tricks. It's going to be subtle, small little things that you may not think, that you're not perceiving, that Satan is working on it. I've told you all before, and I'm going to tell you this again, Satan is playing over the heads of most of our people. He's renting space in every one of our heads, unbeknownst to you. You better put on all God's commandments to drown that crap up out of you. So when you think it's just, there was a witch by the name of Sigmund Freud. And his whole thing was to work in the subconscious minds of people. That's where he dabbled, in the subconscious mind. And one of his studies was that if he can get man to lower his inhibitions in something, he can make them more receptive. So I give you an example about homosexuality. For the most part, we're repulsed by that behavior. I'm going to digress for a second. But somehow lesbianism, Negroes ain't as repulsed.
Right.
Something wrong with you if you ain't still repulsed. But we're repulsed by that behavior. Do you know a simple action will help you begin to accept it, even unbeknownst to you? By laughing at it. Mm-hmm. You make
Medea,
that big old long foot sissy, dress up like a woman, just by you go, do you know you accept that to a degree? So they'll begin to slowly insert that in society, push the envelope. They'll see how far they can get away with it. Listen, from some of y'all who gray in here, you don't know what I'm talking about. When we was young, on what you call cable TV today, HBO, the stuff that was on there, now you see on regular TV.
right?
It was like that. And if you didn't have HBO, you should change your channels and you kind of catch it between the channels.
The fuzzy part.
You see a little breast. You spend an hour trying to look, your eyes be hurting, trying to figure out. A little nasty little Negro. I used to do it. But now look, they push that envelope, then they push a little more. They push a little more. Now it's on TV.
Yeah, they having sex. They just
listen. 7 o'clock in the evening, you be watching the news and be like, next thing you be seeing some lesbian scene. What again?
Campbell soup commercial. They be kissing.
I want to say,
Louder, for everybody
our
catch.
people have accepted that homosexuality and that Medea thing. Last time we was on a fly mission in Austin, they had a Medea lookalike.
Yeah.
I thought they had a barbecue, and our people was just accepting it like it was nothing.
And once you start accepting it, you start laughing about it. I'm telling you, you giving it life. It's a bewitching, yeah.
Bishop, remember when that movie, I think it was Birth of a Nation, came out, and a lot of Jake ain't go see that, but then they ran to go see Medea wicked behind.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Halloween movie with a homosexual in it.
So the witch Sigmund Freud understood that if I can let them to lower their inhibition, and it started long before Medea. It started with Flip Wilson. It started with Tootsie, Dustin Hoffman. They slowly start inputting that, inserting it into the masses. Masses slowly. You had the traditional family value was a husband, wife, and children. Then you had Leave It to Beaver. Where, if you're young, you won't know what I'm talking about. Older ones know. It was father coming from work, wife have dinner, pot roast is ready. The traditional family. Then you got to the 70s, and you had the Brady Bunch, 2 divorcees raising their kids. Then you got to the 80s, 90s. You had, the Bundys, where the daughter was a thought, the mother was a bird, the son was a perv, the father was a perv. Now you got 2 mothers raising a child. They slowly begin to emerge that into the minds and subliminally change how you look at things. And you don't even understand the bewitching that's happening. That's what I say, they play way over niggas' head. We could see it. Imagine people in the world. Man, they wonder why. I'm telling you something. Lil Wayne will kiss a man in his mouth and they say, he ain't gay. Which hood, any of y'all came out where it was all right, I don't care if it was your daddy at that age kissing your mouth. How did it wrap him on? No, he ain't gay, that's his dad. No, first of all, it ain't really his daddy. It's not really, he just call him daddy, but that's not really his daddy. But even so, that dude is a grown young man. Who does that? But you know what happened? They've convinced people to separate the act like it's not gay. Like they separate the commandments from the Bible. How do you, I could stab myself in, how do you separate the commandments from the Bible? How do you separate a man kissing him in the mouth that ain't gay? It's called bewitching. So let's go back.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
We wrestle against principalities. We don't.
Against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So it's telling you that it's going to be a wrestle. The wrestle's where? Where's the wrestling happening? Right here. Who's renting space right here? Does God have control or does something else have control? And you wrestle against principalities. A principality is, the root word is prince. Under a king, he has his princes, and his princes have lordship over different lands. That's where you got landlords from. And here, the king is Satan, and his princes are the Christian church, politics, sports, homosexuality, music, movies, and if they don't catch you on one, they'll catch you on another. If it's not that one, they'll catch another. And all these principalities are set up to deceive the people. So you may not get caught up on homosexuality. That ain't your thing. But you might get caught up on drugs. But, I'm not a drug dude. I'm good. They catch you on politics. Well, I'm not into politics. They'll catch you on religion. They'll find some trip bag to catch you caught up. Well, I'm not into all that. Seems like I'm not into that. But you're on that rap music. How do we know? Because I listen to music brothers making the truth. It sounds just like the music out there. They'll take the same exact song.
Same beat.
Same exact beat. Same flow. I know where you got it from because you're ingesting that crap in your spirit.
Right.
And all you do is change a word.
Bring it out.
And then put it back in and bring it out again. And then you wonder why they get caught up. You ingesting that stuff in your spirit. Now, I'm going to make in love with the cocoa for God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in love with the bread. Okay, watch this. It says, read that verse again, 12.
Verse 12, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world.
Rulers of darkness of this world. Rulers of darkness of this world. There's people and situations set up in this world, rulers, people that set up in this world to keep us in bondage to slavery. To sin, I should say. To sin, which many people become slaves to it. It says, in rulers and bondage of this world.
Against rulers of the darkness of this world. Against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Listen, those a little older again. Do you remember BT when you was a younger?
Yep.
Who's 30? Would 30 be the age?
Yeah, at least 30 and up.
Yeah, 30 and up. Who's 30 and up here? Who is 20, 29 and under? Okay, I'm gonna show you something. Y'all may not remember this. I'm gonna use BT. BT used to have a time when it was information stuff on there.
Right.
They used to have Team Summit.
They had the news.
They had the news on it. Remember Gordon, the black guy, he used to give you news in the hood. Hood news. And I mean, they had, and Team Summit was teaching young kids how to, now we know it was of the world, but it was still somewhat conscious of how to overcome peer pressure.
Yeah.
Teen pregnancy. It was informative.
Getting you ready for college.
Getting you ready for college. Fight the power. Now is what? It's changed. What happened from that to that? Well, the owner of BT, Bob Johnson, sold to Viacom, Summer Redstone, so-called Jew, and when he got it, he changed the programming. Got rid of anything that you can learn from, anything that can give you any insight or to encourage you to exhort to be better, and said, we're going to fill your minds up with gangster rap all day. BT used to play conscious, for lack of better words, what they call conscious rap music at times. Mm-hmm. They said, nah, we need that. Now, the Coon sellout, he didn't have to sell the station. It wasn't like he was broke. I'm not saying, I don't know what happened. He was strong-armed, but they know he has too much power to mold the minds of the people. So we got to take this. We got to take control of this.
And they gave that dude $1 billion for that.
$1 billion. What he did, he went and bought a basketball team. Stupid. You some friggin' a round thing and a hook. You can formulate the minds of millions of people. He said, nah, take that from him. We'll give you money for it, cool. But now, once they got in, Viacom got in there, took away anything, any remote thing that might exhort us to do better in life. And the bewitching just got harder.
I had a brother in the world when I was doing music, and he did it. I went to
Christian rap used to do?
Nah.
Oh. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Every chance you get. But I had a brother in the world that used to do music, and he had just right around the time that they sold BET, that brother sold BET, he went on the show. What was the show that they had for the rappers? It had
106 and Park. Rap City.
Rap City. Rap City. So they had him on there, and he said, "Why don't y'all have Common?" They didn't even air. They didn't end up airing his episode. They said, "Why don't y'all have Common and those more conscious rappers?" And he said the producer told him, looked him straight in the eyes, and said, "We're not looking for that demographic. That's not the demographic that we're after." And then they didn't air his interview.
Wow. That goes right along with Jay-Z on a Black album when he said on a record, he said, "Truthfully, I want to rhyme like Common Sense." Talking about Common, because all the brothers that listen to Common, his name was Common Sense before it was Common. He said, "Truthfully, I want to rhyme like Common Sense, but I did 5 million. I ain't been rhyming like Common Sense."
Dang.
Wow.
So he's saying it flat out. I really want to elevate my lines, but because of the fact that I'm getting paid to push out garbage for the most part that have our people in folly, I'm gonna make this money.
Sell out.
Damn, I didn't even know that shit. Yeah, Bez.
A lot of it. But Bill Cosby, when NBC was up for sale, he wanted to buy NBC, and then all of a sudden it wasn't for sale. And then from that moment on, he was blackballed.
Yeah.
Or red listed, and then all of a sudden he's a rapist. All these allegations started coming out against him. So they didn't just stop at, "No, Negro, you can't buy this station." They said we have to put a stop to his whole agenda of trying to control a media source to educate people.
And you know something with Bill Cosby is that he had the team together to afford to buy it. It wasn't like he was just pie in the sky thinking about it. He's some of the team together. Remember, Cosby was the last of any show for us that was remotely
wholesome.
Husband, wife together, children together. You know, everything that's portrayed with us is pimps, drug addicts, perverts, abusive. He was the last show, so he wanted to try to do something in that arena. But they understand, even in music, all the music, entertainment, all these rap labels, Puffy, what they call again? What's the label called again?
Bad
Boys and stuff like that. They don't own no distribute. They're not distributors. They're just boutique labels that do the music, and the majors distribute for them. They don't know. None of them ever own distribution, because distribution means you could put it everywhere for every. They don't want them to have that control. They don't want them to control any form of media, it being print ads, music, movies. They want you to always go through them so they can regulate, and they could disseminate what information they want to go out. Yeah, brother. Bez, something you want to say?
Being you said about distribution, I was talking to someone who works in the music industry recently, and they told me that Best Buy, Walmart, any place that they're selling Kendrick Lamar's album Damn, if you buy it, they took out the part where he talks about being an Israelite.
They took it out the
They
album.
removed it.
Nah, his
Right.
record label removed it.
They removed it
Wow.
from those places. So in other words, calling himself an Israelite fell under parental guidance advisory.
Wow. Can I tell you something?
And you can only get it if you download it offline. You'll be able to hear
Can
it.
I tell you something? Beat, you said that. I was talking to his cousin. He told me that that on Apple iTunes or whatever, you can't get the one that says it. That he said it's problem. This was last week. He told me that. Like you can't get the version of the song that actually says those words in it. Wow. They on Apple iTunes you couldn't get it. So hey, listen, I love it. I love it. That means we got them scared. Let me tell you something. You don't know how that warms my heart. I love them afraid.
Wait, so Bishop, so that means that the so-called white man would rather you call the woman a bitch in your community.
Call yourself a nigga.
You could say that 1,000,000 times over a rap record, but you couldn't say Israelite. I never knew the word Israelite to be profanity. What's profane about that?
Yeah, it's making-
The word Israel means princes of God.
Right.
So how could it be that the princes of God over a song could be totally censored off the media? You know how? Because this is Satan's kingdom. And only in Satan's kingdom could you not profess that you're God's chosen.
Hey, watch this. Being that you said that, hold this. Let's go to First Maccabees.
Hey, that's wow.
Boy,
And you know that was the best selling album. His numbers are like through the roof. His numbers are through the roof. They're like, we don't care about that money. We got plenty of money.
First
Take it off.
Maccabees 1:48.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said should die.
So to the end of it was that we forget the laws. Remember in Jeremiah, the whole thing was us being disconnected from our heritage. They want us to forget the laws. Do not keep the laws. Remember it says in 2 Maccabees, I want to say 4, when it says, and not profess themselves to be Jews.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, what is it again? Let's go to it real quick.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6.
So what you
And verse
just
6.
said, Cap, is exactly, this is no new thing on the earth. It's the same remix. But you know what happened? We the Israelites, the prophets of God, we can cipher through God's words and bring it to life today. That's why the church is a joke. Church can't do this. They never did this stuff. All you do is song and dance. Read.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
He can't profess himself to be a Jew. So they removed that. That's how you know this is the truth. It got them afraid. And you know the funny thing? All praises, he understands that he's an Israelite. But man, we've been saying this for years on the corners. This ain't no new thing. You know what's the difference? Is that he has a broader market of people he can reach, more influence. They look at us like we a bunch of crazy dudes standing in the corner screaming. They think we crazy. All right, whatever. Now he says it, and now they're afraid because you know what? He has a lot to lose. And I'm telling you, for him to say it, I don't know if he fully understands the ramifications of what he did, but he's on the road to revolution by saying those words, by helping change the mind. Because people talking about, they're looking for this truth now based on just a couple verses of whatever he said. Shalom. I'm sorry, Cap.
No, because I was going to say to a certain degree, the reason why is because he in part beat the white man at his own game. He played the white man at his own game. When you think about this truth, and like the bishop says, we've been on the streets teaching for years that we're the Israelites. But through the power of media, they've already put us in a box. Esau already knows, okay, you're going to have different Israelite groups that are going to rise up. They're going to teach you God's chosen people. Let's label them Black Hebrew Israelites. They've already put a profile around us. So that way, when you start seeing us teach on the streets, they already know how to put subtle things in their TV, their influences, so that way we're not taken seriously. Even with that Mike Epps parody and all of that, the white man knows how to make the truth look like a lie in the media. And so what the media does is they say, no, don't look at the leaders of Israel as role models in the black community. Look at the entertainers as role models in the black community. These are the guys that are supposed to be the faces that the people are supposed to look after. And so then you got Kendrick Lamar. Then you got Colin Kaepernick. You got guys now that are in the entertainment industry where Esau says it's okay to look at these guys for them to be the role models. And now Esau is saying, well, damn, even the entertainers is flipping on us now. We wasn't expecting that. Right. As long as we line their pocket, we didn't think that they was going nowhere. Now we're really finished. We're really done now.
Yeah, Abiel.
It's like that video you showed us in our class a couple weeks ago, Malcolm X saying the same thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know it's bad. Listen to me, in this day and age, I'm going to get back to it, but I got to say something that you said that, Cap. You would see a round table of so-called thinkers talking. When I say thinkers, I'm talking about Esau, having dialogue. And then they will invite LeBron James to sit down in that
Right.
Negro, please.
What he got to say?
What you discovered to cure the AIDS, the cancer? All you do, your tout to fame is that you dribble a ball and you're able to throw it and put it into a circle. And then you're going to be the... But you know what happened? It shows how much they think of us. That is the mouthpiece for our community. I saw something they were sitting out talking with Oprah was sitting there having it was with LeBron and the other dude played by whatever his name is, and Jay-Z and Kobe or whoever these people. I'm saying on social issues, these are niggas that speak for us. Oh man, we in trouble. We in trouble. Wasn't that dude just in the club last night popping champagne? Right. And now he's here and he's going to speak on social issues and how we fix the ills of our community. Right. Man, and you happen. All people sit down and watch him like, yeah, that's right, Kobe. That's right, LeBron.
LeBron's deep.
He's deep. Okay, we in trouble if that.
So what I was gonna say is going to what you're saying about people being scared of us is you can see that they're more scared by the fact that they have to cut out the Kendrick Lamar stuff and the people like the apologetics. Now they have to. Now we got to put the Deuteronomy 28 because it's beginning to be too much for their version of Deuteronomy 28. The truth version is reaching too many ears. We have to try to bewitch them even more quickly now so that we can hurry up and change their mindsets to try to put them back.
I want to say something about what you just said. Sometimes you can't get somebody to totally go against what they believe. But what you can do is begin to cast doubt. There's another breakdown of Deuteronomy 28, so maybe the one you have is wrong. Do you know how dangerous that is? Because it may not affect you right now, but there'll be that day you sit back and you start wondering, I wonder if this is true.
Plant that seed.
When they're able to get at the core of your belief. That's why I say I don't be putting stuff in my spirit. I don't be watching. I ain't stupid. I pay attention, but stuff I'm not unconcerned about. Give me a scripture. Okay, they're trying to catch those weak men that's not fully girded in these scriptures. Because if you gird in these scriptures, the Most High said he gives you understanding if you keep the commandments. Yeah, brother.
So I want to say how true that is, and it's weird because I own a barber shop.
Yeah.
And this time last year I was talking to some brothers in the shop, everybody to come through, telling them stuff. They didn't want to hear it. Since that album came out, I've had 3 or 4 people that came into the shop now like, yo, you heard that Kendrick album? All of a sudden, because Kendrick said it is real. So now their ears are open because, it was a seed planted and they remember that they heard that in the shop and they like, yo, all of a sudden it's real. So,
And our people, and we joke about it all the time, but our people look at the entertainers and whatnot, the comedians and whatnot, the jokesters, the rappers, as the true prophets. That's how our people look at it. Tupac is more of a prophet than they can find in the Bible in the world right now.
Yeah.
Only God can judge me.
But I've been giving all praise to the Most High. Man, I've been standing in the corner for 20 years teaching, and Kendrick said in 2 minutes, and everybody converted. I'm like, hey, listen, All praises, whatever, Father. You work your work, but damn. So now I want to say this in earshot. If Kendrick, if you hear this, understand, the Most High used you for a purpose. He's used you for a purpose.
That's right.
Because the church has failed. Come on, in 2017, we all know. I mean, come on. If you go to church, Islam has failed. They haven't done a Million Man March. And what is the fruits? The inner city. Listen, Nation of Islam. Their core base is Chicago or New York City. They can't fix it. They don't got a solution to the plan. It's worse. What happened? Farrakhan, why is all those young men turned to sodomites and gangbanging? What have you done on the front line? And I'm not saying be out there on the street policing the people, but whatever you've taught about self-worth, about changing the community, it has not worked. But we got the solution. We've been telling y'all just got to listen and do it. Go ahead.
Bishop, he said I think he was on I think it was Breakfast Club or something. He was, we the chosen people, so on and so forth, and Farrakhan. So every once in a while he want to jump out of somewhere and say something. Let me get Romans 16 and 17. A lot of times we read this precept dealing with brothers and sisters that leave the faith and break God's commandments and want to make up doctrines why they want to go back to the world. But we got to look at this precept as well, dealing with the wicked of the world, dealing with the apologetics, dealing with all these people. Read, come on.
The book of Romans, chapter 16 and verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned.
So that's why we're going to talk about y'all. We're going to bring out the strong, we're going to show the strongholds, and it goes right back what the bishop said to say what? We ain't paying no attention to that. Come on.
And avoid them.
Come on.
For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ.
They don't serve the black Messiah. Come on.
But their own belly.
Their own lust, whether it be music, whether it be porn, whatever the case. Come on.
And by good words and fair speeches.
And they got a good speech. What they going to do?
Deceive the hearts of the simple.
So the elect will not be deceived. That's powerful. The elect ain't going to be deceived when all these calamities coming out. The elect ain't going to be playing. That's all.
So let's go back. I want to go back to Ephesians. I want to jump to Isaiah. Read Ephesians, the last verse. That was 12.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 12.
13.
Verse 13. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God.
Put on all these commandments. Put on your spiritual eye. A spiritual man discerneth all things. See clearly to know how to avoid, how to know what's good for your spirit, what's right for your spirit, and what to avoid, what not to do. Read on.
Take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, in the evil day, and having done all to stand.
And you've done all to stand. So if your right eye offended, pluck it out. I hope you understand. It's not literally pluck out your eye.
Hey, you know a brother did that, right?
I know some rapper guy.
He was Benjamin.
Yeah, he was Benjamin.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all noticed, he made a point of saying he was Benjamin.
Hey, but listen, deservedly, I deserve that jab back. I took the Christian jab, bro. I just got to eat that one. But now I'm going to do the investigation and delicate inquisition to find out. And if he's not, Lord spare my life, on the next broadcast, I will come back and respond to it. Yeah, but anyway, the simpleton, the brother, and I wish he would have came to us and we could have explained him what that means. He could have saved himself an eye.
Right.
Because he sat down, he said, the scripture said, my right eye phlegm, he pluck it out. So he took it out. And then there's a left eye offended and he pluck it out. His right arm offended, he took it off. Left arm offended. Now he's just a torso. Without wisdom, get understanding. Maybe if you keep the commandments, you have a good understanding of what it means. All right, so let's go from that to Isaiah 47, because I want to go back to the principalities and powers. 47 and 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 47 and verse 1.
Luke. No, stay there. Stay there. All right, 47, read that.
Verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
So now, those that understand, when you read the Bible, in the time of Isaiah, we weren't even in the Babylonian captivity at this point. A lot of this is all prophetic. And we know it's talking about modern day Babylon because it's talking about the daughter of Babylon. Ancient Babylon was up on the rise, but this is talking about an offspring of her. America is the offspring of Babylon. Let me see if anybody's thinking. Name some of the similarities between ancient Babylon and modern day Babylon, or America today.
Multicultural.
Okay. Very good. Okay. What else?
You got the women on a pedestal like they were back in ancient Babylon.
Very good.
Singular religion or belief system.
Repeat. Explain what you mean by that.
They wanted one religion.
Okay. Okay. Right.
One world government.
One
belief.
government. Okay. Right. Something else that y'all missing. I can't believe y'all missing. Oh, that's right. There's a lot of stuff. Let me hear.
Homosexuality.
That's true too. In Babylon, there was. Okay, here's a couple. They changed our names. Like we got our names changed here. We was in slavery here. Like we was in slavery there. But everything you said it's a parallel between the same setup there and here. But watch this. Read on.
Verse 2. Take the millstone and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered.
So God is saying that he's going to uncover. He's going to uncover the shame of America. Like a woman, if her skirt can lift up, she's embarrassed. Should be. Lift up a skirt now. Anyway.
Right. That's fashion now.
Yeah. Right. Should be. He said, God said, I'm going to uncover her and show the shame of America. Read on.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
He said, I'm going to take vengeance. When I return, I will not meet you as a man. So when the return of our Lord and Savior comes back, trust me, he will not be out in the middle of the street fist fighting with some redneck. He said, that's not how it's going to go down this time, buddy. It's going to be a different show this time.
Ain't going to be no crucifixion.
Yeah, it's crucifixion, man. Anyway, let's jump on down. I want to get to the point. Verse 8.
Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children.
America is saying this, like, there's none besides me. I'm the superpower. I'm not going to be as a widow. You're not going to kill me. You're not going to destroy me. I'm not going to have a loss of people. God's like, I said I'm not going to visit your man. You really think that's how it's going to happen? Arrogant. Read on.
Verse 9.
That's America like that. USA! USA! Take you down. Yeah, 1 second. Read on.
Verse 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment.
This is what he says. These two things will happen to you in a moment. Read on.
In one day, the loss of children and widowhood.
God said, in one day, this is going to happen to you. But that's not the point I wanted it. Read on.
They shall come upon thee in their perfection. For the multitude of thy sorceries.
That's why I want. He said, because of the multitude of your sorceries. Read on.
And for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
He says, and the great abundance of thine enchantments. And we named them. Religion is one of his sorceries, his enchantments. To enchant is to take the minds of people. America is built on sorcery. It's built on entrapping the minds of the people. TV is one, for us, even when we were younger, TV wasn't as blatant as it is now, but it was an enchantment. You sat in front of, you know how you know TV is an enchantment? I'm going to show you. You turn on TV and you'll see a program, and you'll watch it and you'll laugh, and then you'll turn it off. And you'll come back in another day and you'll turn on and watch the same program, and you know the outcome of it, you know exactly, and you'll watch it all over again. You lost your mind. Then you go back and you're like, I've seen it before, and then you'll watch it again. And then you'll start saying, yeah, you start laughing before the scene even come on. You start laughing, look what's going to happen. This is your third time you watch the same old thing. You understand it? You understand? You've seen it already. It's nothing. It's not like this. Like there's a new unedited scene that you never seen before. Like, and I tell you when I was a kid, beginning Batman, Batman. They show the car come up, and you wait, and you're like, this week Wonder Woman. You're like, or Batwoman, whatever it was. But the point is that the same episodes get played over and over and over again. Kids do that, and they'll watch the same thing.
Right.
My kids, I'm like, yo, I know you see it because I walked past and I seen that crap already. Turn that crap off. How do you keep on watching the same stuff?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
With television, they call it programming.
There you go.
And what they're doing is they're programming the minds of people. Now in school, when you got kids, the way that you teach a kid is through repetition. Keep on showing them the same thing. 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 is 2. And in doing that, it becomes natural to them. That's the same thing they're doing with our programming. Keep on showing them sin. And in doing that, sin becomes natural. Desensitized. Medea. Fu Manchu with Wesley Snipes when he's dressing up like a woman. They show that over and over again. Men kissing men on commercials. Campbell Soup commercial with the Darth Vader and the two dads, and that's their son and whatnot. They show that stuff over and over again, and we become programmed to where now it's normal.
I'm gonna tell you there was. Oh, go ahead. You was something.
Bishop, in the Cambridge, right next to that precept, it has Revelation 18:7. So Esau knows.
Yeah.
Esau knows this is him.
You know something, and I was gonna say that because for some reason, in my house, I don't know what it is about those shows. It irritates. It's like irksome to my ear. You hear I say, turn it off. I can't even take the sound of their voices in my ear. I cannot take that sound. It
Disney
drives me up
channels
the
and
wall.
all that junk.
You always hear me say, turn that crap off. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what they say. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to tell you something. Shows like Proud Family, it teaches the black world to the little black girl. That's a dangerous show. I don't know if that and that little chick returned to lesbian.
Raven.
But she went from boy to boy every episode. This boy like her, that boy like her, this one, she like this one. You teach her how to be a hoe. But the Proud Family showed the father was a fliggin'
punk
buffoon. The grandmother ruled the house. The daughter was disrespectful. And then they mask it behind jokes. You know how they brainwash you all and brainwash our kids today? On all these unholy days, Christmas. They give gifts. Trick or treat. Halloween, they give you candy. Easter, you get chocolate. Valentine's Day, you get chocolate. They bait you in.
Right.
Sin, you sin because sin feel good. That's why. You don't sin because it feel bad.
Hey, pass me the mic. I wanted to touch real quick on the repetition part, right? And I learned this in college when I took advertisement design and psychology. What they do is the programs you talking about, Bishop, notice how something don't be funny at all, but they'll play laughter behind it.
Yes.
Right.
Right? You ever notice that? It just be the most dumbest thing, but they'll play laughter. And they always do it constantly. Laughter, 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 laughter. Next thing you know, that programs the mind to think that whatever they're doing is humorous. Right? That goes into the repetition thing. And that's how they get the kids to absorb it. Then also with the programming, music. Notice how on the radio, they'll put the dumbest song.
I was just
You
about
hear
to
it
say
you hear it the first time, you're like, man, that's such a dumb song. How did it even make it to the radio? Most horrible message. But because they put it in rotation, as they call it, it's programming. Next thing you know, it goes up in the charts. People start requesting it, and now it's a hit. So they already know how to position it, where to put it, and they already know the end results of how we're going to consume it.
You're right. They feed it to you. Like clothing today, you go in the stores, all the jeans are skinny jeans.
Yeah.
They'll make you all think you pick what you want to wear. Man, you wear what they tell you to wear.
Hey, that's why my closet look like a slave closet. I got clothes from 10, 15 years ago. My pants falling apart because I can't find no real pants, no man pants. I need somebody. Hey, everybody online, start making some pants, please, because they got us jacked up.
Hey, help Captain Julie because he came with some shorts with creases on it yesterday. Permanent creases in it. It looked like he just came
Real
home.
talk.
You know, only people wear that stuff are dudes that just came home from prison. That's what they went into prison with 15 years ago. He came home with that. But you're right. I'd rather wear that. I'd rather that.
There's some skin tight capris with.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Cap. Luke 22.
If I could say something real quick, Bishop.
Yeah, feel free.
This is the reason why the Most High commands us to meditate in His Word day and night. You think the Lord don't know that all of these media distractions are in place to keep us stupid? The average American watches 5 hours of television per day. And a lot of that comes from the black community. We're the number one most active on social media. A lot of times when you examine our mind, right? The black and Hispanic man's mind in America before it's really being converted back to the laws of God, it always needs an entertainment system to latch onto throughout the day. Like when you think about a Negro in America has to either be watching TV, listening to music, engaged in on Facebook. Like it's always some type of box that their mind has to be engaged in, because a lot of times that's all they know. That's all that their mind knows. A lot of times if you just put a book and a Negro in silence, they'll be ready to explode on themselves because they've gotten themselves so. And what a lot of our people don't understand is your brain begins to reprogram itself in those ways. When you look at a lot of things in the media, your brain is releasing a chemical called dopamine. Like that's the pleasure center in your mind. So it's no difference between somebody that's strung out on crack. They're strung out and addicted partially because of the fact their brain has associated that pleasure center with being able to get that high. So in our minds, we're always trying to look for, okay, what's the high? Can I find it on my phone? What's the high? Can I find it on television? Like as soon as you wake up in a day, that's the first thing that we do. We got to deprogram ourselves from that because it controls everything. It's all control.
If you noticed in the programming, it says evil. We're gonna read that second. Evil communication corrupts good manners. Give that real quick. Let's go to it real quick, and I'll come back. 1 Corinthians.
I got you. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
Which part of that do you think I want?
You ask me?
No. Send my classes. Anybody? Yeah, I'm listening. What part of that I want? Right.
Be not deceived.
Right. Because he's trying to tell you, don't be stupid. Don't get fooled. If whatever's communicated, it will corrupt you. If the communication is good and godly communication, you're good. If it's evil communication, it will corrupt you. People don't believe, thinking it's true. It has a message. What's this? Oh, you got the, okay, plug that for me. Be not deceived. Because somebody say, nah, it ain't gonna affect me. Remember, the effect is not. I got it, officer. He get to me. The effect is not like instant effect, meaning you listen to music, you watch it, and automatically you're affected. No, it's a setup. It slowly begins to erode something inside of you until it friggin' leaves you empty. It erodes you slowly. It's saying evil communication will corrupt good manners. It will corrupt the way you think. It will corrupt the way you behave. Read that again.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. Read. Awake to righteousness.
It says what?
Awake to righteousness.
It's telling to awake. Because if you think it was, you're asleep. Awake to righteousness and what?
And sin not.
And it tells you what?
And sin not.
And not sin. Read on.
It says, awake to righteousness and sin not. For some have not the knowledge of God.
Because some people just don't have the knowledge of God. They don't understand that this thing, be not deceived, it will destroy you. Watch what you ingest into your spirit. Watch what you take in. You know what's good for you, what's not good for you. So if you know you're struggling with porn, stay away from the computer. You know you was a fiend for rap music in the world or that gangster, stay away from it. Leave it alone. Nobody pity a snake charmer when he get bitten. When you play in that world, you get bit, you get bit. Be not deceived. Read that verse again.
Verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. Awake to righteousness and sin not. For some have not the knowledge of God. I speak this to your shame.
He said, I speak this to your shame. Watch this. So, I want us to start to start looking at things different. Look at this world as everything in it is set for your destruction. Know that everything set up here outside of this truth is somehow set up for your destruction. And then you're going to be constant, you're going to be conscious of the decisions you make. Watch this. Go from that to Luke. Luke chapter 22, verse 31.
The book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
He says Satan desires to have. Do you know Satan desires to have every one of us here? That he could sift you as wheat? Now watch what he says.
Verse 32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not.
He said, I pray that your faith does not fail. That you run this course, that you don't get tripped up. Read on.
But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
He says, and when you're converted. Now, who's he talking to? He talking to Simon Peter. He's telling Simon Peter stuff and you gotta still fix. He said, because Satan, he want to sift you as wheat. He said, I'm praying for you that you don't fail. And when you get your together, then now you go help your brothers. So there was something internal in Peter that Peter was still struggling with. There was something in him. And he's saying, Satan will play on that, Peter. So if you got a spirit, I'm going to change gears because I was going to mind control. And this is part of mind control. If you got a spirit of you unforgiving, be careful. Satan is going to sift you as wheat. If you got a spirit of hatred, if you got a spirit of violence, drugs, whatever your vice may be, Satan wants to sift you as wheat. Now, if he's telling Simon Peter this, and Simon Peter was the man set up after he left the earth to run the church, what does it say about us? Mm-hmm. He tells Simon Peter, I know parts of you that you better come to realization, you better examine yourself. He said, and then when you are converted, go back. I'm telling you, that verse right there for me, when I read that, I'm like,
it makes you think about yourself.
Yeah. The Most High, Christ said, you all look at the outside appearance, but I search the hearts of men. I'm dabbling around up in the back of your head. He said, okay, Simon, and then when you get yourself converted. He wasn't asking if there's anything wrong. I'm telling you, when you do finally get yourself together, because Satan's trying to sift you right now.
Hey, you know what? That's like us in here right now. If somebody come to you and say, the bishop come to you and say, look, Michael, once you come into the truth, now how long you been in the truth?
3 years.
3 years. Bishop come and say, look, once you come into the truth fully, teach your brothers. You're going to be like, I thought I was in the truth. That's probably what Peter was like. I thought I was converted already. Dang, I'm cut.
Yeah. Read that verse 32 again.
Verse 32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
And when you're converted. So I'm telling all of us, be not deceived. Don't be deceived and think that listen, evil communication will corrupt you. I don't care if it's what you see, what you listen to, it will convert you. It will become you. As a man thinketh, so is he. So whatever you ingest in here, it'll manifest in your speech and your behavior eventually. Or do it your way. Let's see how it works out for you. Let's see if you got a better blueprint than God, because I don't know one, but yeah, Cap.
I want to read a scripture to go along with that. This is back in Revelation 2. Revelation chapter 2
Here, I get it.
and verse 24. I was thinking about what the bishop just said, and I was kind of laughing at it. It's really sad, actually. I saw a brother post on Facebook a couple days ago. He was saying, damn, these women will literally do anything to get followers on Instagram. And when he was saying that, it brought my mind to thinking just how a lot of times, especially women, how they process this social media thing where it's like you will literally do anything. You'll put your whole body out there. You'll get in front of a camera 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to be seen. Your whole sense of self-worth has to be validated by how many times somebody's liked you or this, that, and the third. It's like you've become a slave to a damn social media outlet. Like you'll throw your own brother. You'll have hatred for your brother over a social media outlet. You know how many times even Israelites
Bring it out.
will go against the scriptures on how to deal with their brother because they want to get views on YouTube. This scripture says this in Revelation chapter 2 and verse
24.
24, yes.
The book of Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 24.
Read.
But unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine, and which have not known the depths of Satan,
And which have what?
and have not known the depths of Satan, as they speak, I will put upon you none other burden.
You see that? In other words, what's being said here is Satan plays at a level that's far beneath the surface. You know, there's certain things that you might pick up in your conscious mind to say, okay, you know what? This is of the devil. But there's a lot of other things that's underneath the surface where Satan is doing all kind of tricks on you, and you don't even realize that Satan's doing tricks. You're thinking that you're doing something good or you're doing something that there's no harm in it, but Satan already sees it. That's the reason why I always tell brothers, at the earliest stages of sin, you got to start plucking it out. Don't wait until you're sitting up in the bed with a sister to say, oh, now I'm wrong because I'm lying in bed with the sister. No. The minute that you had the thought about lying with the sister, you already knew Satan was working a work right there. You already knew the seed was planted right there. And Satan get going even before that. Satan starts setting stuff up. Okay, y'all in the same room together now. Okay, it's an elevator that y'all got to go up. And it just so happens y'all got to go on it together just so privately. Satan sets all of that stuff up, man. Read on.
Verse 25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come.
So what do we have already? These laws, the commandments, the instructions for us to follow. Do this, don't do this. The scripture says hold fast until Christ comes. Because if we hold on to any other thing, it's going to be to our demise and we're not going to get the kingdom. Read.
Verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
You see that? Because right now the other nations have power over us. That's the reason why they lobby so hard to get control over these media stations. They understand the power of what media does. But we need to start using, that's the reason why, all praise to the Most High, the Lord has allowed us to be effective via the internet. Instead of using these devices in malice and in sin, we need to be using it for righteous reasons and be using this media to further push this truth, further push God's laws, further push the true example of what a righteous black man looks like. Not a nigga, not a demon.
Let's go from that to 2 Corinthians 2. No, 2 Corinthians 10, I said 2. 10, verse 4.
The book of Second.
I want to say something on that, what the captain was saying, because this was my thought. The first signs of it is to strike it down. And if you're uncertain, because you may not know, always seek counsel. And if for some reason you don't want to seek counsel, then you know it's wrong. It's very simple. If you ain't looking for counsel and you want to do it your way because you know what you're doing is wrong, put everything on it. That's what it is. When you start stepping out and seeking counsel, because after a while you grow in understanding, Satan is not going to come very blatant at time. It'll be very subliminal in some cases. But there's still something that kicks in you, spiritual man discerning all things. But even if you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm overreading, I'm not, you'll go, let me ask you a question. What you see in this? If you ain't doing that, I'm telling you something, to this day, I always do that. I always ask, what do you see? Because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I need another set of eyes to tell me what they see in it.
Right.
That's your fail-safe. 2 Corinthians 10.
And verse
4.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
So the weapons of our warfare are not cardinal. The weapons of our warfare is this right here. This is our weapon. Our strength is in God's words and the body of people you're around that's doing the same thing. It says the weapons of our warfare are not cardinal, but what?
But mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
Name the strongholds that we have to pull down. What is strongholds?
Homosexuality.
That's a strong. We got to pull that down. And how do we pull it down? With what? With the Bible. You go to the laws of God. Name another one.
That's homosexuality too.
Yeah, that's almost. Yeah, that's what it's saying. You got to pull that down. Read on. Media, right? These are the strongholds we have to pull up. We have to pull down. We have to rip it out of the minds of our people. But first, we got to rip it out of our own minds. Separate ourselves from that stuff. That stuff is defiling us. Defiling us. Yeah, read on.
Verse 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God.
Against the laws of God. Everything that exalts itself against the laws of God. Read on.
And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Now look what it says. And bring into captivity every thought. You know, that's how we be talking outward. We got to cast down the man. How about you casting down your own thoughts? Casting down the thoughts in your mind. We read it, and we always read it outwards, like we got to break down the strongholds. We're on the street breaking down Christianity. Sometimes those things have to be broken down in your own thought process. So read that verse again.
Verse 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
That's the same thing he told Peter. Mm-hmm. When you get yourself converted, then you can go deal with the stuff. So where's the battle begin at? Right here, within you. So you want to start tearing down these strongholds? How about the strongholds that's plaguing your mind, that's holding you captive? That's what he's trying to tell you, fix. I'll tell you something. Satan playing way over most people's heads. You be thinking you're doing something, and he's like, man, listen. I always say this. I always give this example. You like, I'm strong. I don't eat pork. I don't take rod. I don't smoke weed. Satan be like this. But you can't forgive, right? And you keep on tapping right here. And this don't feel like nothing. But if I do this for 10 years, this will put a hole through his arm. That's how Satan plays. Like, I can't get you. He tried to get you off the front when you first know the truth. Like Matthew 13, when the first part of the sower, word come in, the devil try to snatch it out of you, Satan try to snatch it out of you. But when you get a little rooted in now, you ain't gonna fall for like a pork chop and stuff like that. But he'll get you on anger, things that's lay dormant deep down in your spirit. Me and Kat was talking about it yesterday. Is that you grow and you hit that plateau, and you kind of know the Bible. You can break down Deuteronomy 28, St. John 3:16. You're pretty good with that stuff. But then now you gotta start learning yourselves and those things that lay real dormant in your spirit that you got to rid yourself of, that you was kind of able not to deal with because you was too busy learning that Christ was black and that I got to get my fringes on. And then once you get all them preliminaries down, now you're going to go to the core of who you are and find out, are you going to weather the storm? Mm-hmm. Start dealing with the inner man inside of you. And I'm telling you, I use the example of Peter. He was like, tell Peter, Satan desires you. But I'm going to pray for you, Peter. But once you get converted. Now, Christ was on his way out now. And he told Peter, you still ain't right yet. And then Peter did what? He denied him thrice. He said, Peter, man, you think read that verse again. I'm telling you,
But that's why a lot of times in this truth, going back to what the bishop was saying, that's the reason why I never really find myself fascinated by how many precepts somebody can quote. Because in the mind of a Negro thinks, well, if I can quote every precept out of the Bible, maybe they won't know that I have the spirit of hatred on me. Maybe if I can quote every precept in the Bible, maybe they won't realize I'm not keeping the Sabbath. If I could break down Revelations, that might shadow the fact that I'm in the midst of fornication. And it don't shadow it. For a lot of you, you use the Bible as a smoke screen to try to mask a lot of your iniquities. It'd be better for you to only know but a couple scriptures and not be able to break it down, and you focus 95% of your time on getting out of the sins that you're in.
I'm going to read something for you. This is going on what you just said. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 37 and verse 19. It says, there is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself.
And you know what? A lot of his time is consumed in teaching many because he's trying to use it to cover up his own sins. You see what I'm saying? If you would have spent more time, because sometimes you got to take a step back from yourself. You'll always know a disciplined brother or a disciplined sister if they say, you know what? I might not be able to do this with you. I might not be able to follow the crowd here. I got to take time to focus on getting myself together. I'm not right yet. You see what I'm saying? But if you're always just focusing on what the next person is doing, what the next person is saying, policing this person, that person, having an opinion on this person and that person, well, where's the time for you to get yourself together? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing about the Bible. That's the real reason why the scripture says wisdom rain down skill. Because sometimes you could be a brother in the truth, right? And the scriptures talk about beauty in the unity of brethren. But sometimes you could keep brothers around you so much, or you want to be around brothers so much, is because it's hard to be in your own skin. It's hard for you to be in isolation and be like, damn, let me really purge out the things that are in me. And so to try to mask your way from not having to do that, you'll get on the phone with this person and this person and this person. You see what I'm saying? You will take something that outwardly looks righteous, but inwardly is to really hide your own sins.
Right. And it'll be to your ruin. So let's go back. I'm gonna read that one more time. Verse 6.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 6. And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
Right. When you get yourself together. Read on.
Verse 7. Do ye look on the things after the outward appearance?
Do you just look on the things on the outward appearance? You know, you see something, and I'm gonna go back to the man, but I'm talking about, do you look at things, are we to look at things just at face value? I know if you're spiritual, you look at things twofold, threefold. You look at what's being said or what you're viewing, and then you look, like when you look at movies, you see the thing and you're like, there's a deeper thing behind this. This means something else behind this. I can see what they're trying to put. The masses can't see it, but look, Planet of the Apes. So whatever you might watch, you know, you like, I can see there's subtleties behind it. I'm saying within yourself, do you look at just an outside appearance? What's bouncing around in here? Think about what's really moving your thoughts. Who's controlling your thoughts? What is controlling your thoughts? Ask yourself those questions. Look at things and stop looking at face value of things. And then you'll start realizing, I gotta rid certain things out of my life because it's not for my benefit.
Right.
It's not going to bring me closer to God. It's going to move me away. A lot of times, it's your own thoughts. That's why the Bible says the heart is desperately wicked. It will convince you. Watch it. I tell you, years ago, that sounds funny, but I knew something was not good for my spirit. And it was nothing, well, it was bad to me. It was a movie. It was a movie. It was Players Club. You know, I'd never seen that movie yet. 'Cause that's a little light-skinned thing, and I was like, oh, no. Nah, I can't watch this. And that was our movie, but I said, she fine too. I said, nah. I said, I'll never forget it. I said, nah, I don't want to see that. Nah, I'm good. She looked too
mess
good.
you up.
She was made it messing me up. Found myself, I'm going to go to Hollywood now. I want me a career. What's the name again? I forgot the little high yellow girl too in the movie.
It was the Brat sister,
Oh yeah,
Lisa Ray.
that was so. Yeah, I was like, nah, I ain't watching this. There's another one, and I saw the devil in her.
Say you better get bewitched.
Yeah, I was like, nah, I'm good. I ain't watching that. Flick that thing off. Beyonce did a video, and I forgot the song, but she did with Jay-Z. And I never forget.
The surfboard.
And I saw how she looked in her eyes, and I said, let me tell you some certain things you just know.
devil on it.
Everybody gotta know what's not good for their spirit. But I saw the way she looked, and she put her eyes down like this. I said, nah. And I never watched that video again. I said, nah, I'm good. I ain't messing around. I'm not gonna tempt that snake right there, because what happens is just a video. That's how you look at it. But no, it kindles something in your spirit, and it just lays dormant. And then here comes Satan again. Now you got little issues. Your wife, you arguing with her left and right, and that's a whole nother issue, like that. And then here come the hoe. And the hoe starts saying everything you like. She has a look you like. You don't know. That crap was activated 2 years ago. It is laying dormant, building.
Going with what you just said. This is
This ain't like, I got free range right now for a minute, right? Okay, what is it?
that ain't what the producer, the executive producer said 5 minutes.
Get off the talk to me.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter
Whoa,
4.
slow down. Whoa, pause.
What'd I say?
Wisdom of Solomon.
Hey, I'm bewitched. Pray for me.
The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4,
Verse 10.
Verse 10. It says, this is a good one. He pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners, he was translated.
And that's our job, to please God, that us living among sinners, we can be translated out of this wicked captivity that we in. This wicked captivity is bewitching us. Read.
It says, yea, speedily he was taken away, lest the wickedness should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul.
And that's the job of Satan right now. The principalities right now is for that bewitching that they're putting out on us to alter our understanding. Things that we know to be right and good, now we start trimming our ways because of the programming that they're putting into our spirits, that we're allowing them to put in our spirits. Now they're causing the outward appearance. We got the purple, the gold, the fringes. We wearing 100%. We're doing all those outward things in God's laws, but inwardly, we don't put so much poison in ourselves and allow them to get in so much that it obscures. Read that last part again. What it say?
It says, should alter the understanding or deceit beguile his soul.
You see that the inward man our understanding starts becoming altered, and the deceit start messing with our spirit. Read on.
Now I want to say something before you move on. Look what God said, the verse before that, 10. He pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living among singers he was translated. In other words, God put him to death before the wickedness that's in this earth can destroy him. Now this is a godly man. This ain't no sinner. He's saying it's so bad and the bewitching is so bad that I'm going to take him out before he get tainted. That's why it says the righteous will scarcely be saved.
All praise.
The righteous are scarcely going to be saved. It said if it wasn't that God caught short in his time, we wouldn't make it. Because this place is under spiritual witchcraft for real. And eventually, if it keeps on pounding at you, guys, let me move it before it wears him out. Because he's good right now. Boy. Verse 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness.
That's like the movie you was talking about. These movies, this music that they put out, these magazines that they put out, the bewitching of naughtiness, the stuff that we know we ain't supposed to be looking at. We still looking at. We still on the internet. The bewitching of naughtiness when you're online and you're trying to watch a movie and then you click play and then all of a sudden this porn pops up on the screen. And now them put that thought in your mind. They put those little things in there that subtly plant little seeds that later on they hope grow and bloom. And if you ain't putting enough of the Bible in your spirit to counteract that stuff, then what's gonna happen? Fruit is gonna grow.
I want to say something on that. And watch it. Just on the side note, I watch it with my children too because like my kids are if my computer, you see my computer, it's in the open.
Right.
My little ones be like, they'll go on YouTube and my wife will play some music, but on the side thing on it, whatever that's called, the news feed or whatever you call it, it'd be all kind of, like, you be typing in Benjavite's album, and you'd be like, Debbie Deep Throat, some crap, on the side of that stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell I gotta do? I'm thinking, and that helped me, that it will come up based on what you're looking for.
The tagline.
You know, if you're looking for cartoons and then that come up, I'm telling you some this stuff out here. It says, for the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest.
That's us. That's the bewitching of naughtiness does obscure the things that are us keeping the laws, us trying to strive to serve the Most High God. The bewitching of naughtiness, this stuff that is planted in our spirits out here. Matter of fact, you can't even go outside without seeing the bewitching of naughtiness. Drive up the freeway and you got billboards with panic commercials on them. Women, you got abortion billboards, the bewitching of naughtiness. All around us. At all times, we surrounded at four corners by evil.
It'd be like, summer, it's hot. Fix your HVAC, AC unit, and they got a chick in a bikini.
Yeah, leaning on the car.
Yeah, with a wrench.
You hungry? Burgers? It'd be a burger commercial. Bikini, she on the car getting sprayed down with a water hose. They got to do with a cheeseburger.
Need a carburetor for your car?
Right.
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember. You remember that liquid plumber commercial, Double Impact?
Yeah, when he came to the door,
Yeah, no,
she said, "I'm here to get your pipes."
So we're here to clear your pipes. She went, ooh, yeah, yo, she have a clogged drain. Let me tell you something. The bewitching. So now, and this is on regular TV. She opens the doors, two men there. We're here to clear your pipes.
And it's called Double Impact.
Right, and she goes,
That's the beginning of a poem.
Go Google it. And she goes, oh, all the subtleties is to incite that lascivious spirit in you. And then the commercial go off, next you know, you like, and you don't even know, you may not consciously say things, but in the recesses of your mind, it's sitting there dormant. Mm-hmm. That's why it says you have to abhor evil. You gotta sit there and go act like a scratch on a chalkboard.
And Esau has done a diligent search on this and mastered it in their marketing. Esau already knows on record what things to be able to get the simple mind to look at. The top two things that Esau understands in marketing that men will look at, that will, out of all the things in the world, that will grab a man's attention: women and flashy cars. That's the reason why anytime you have ever seen any major mass marketing movement, chances are it's either had a woman on it or it's had a flashy car on it.
That's why in sports now you see more women broadcasters that are doing the sports shows for golf, football, basketball, and any other sports. Where before they had no market there, they put them in there because now we're more entertained by the women speaking, not even listening to what the sports is doing.
That's just like Hooters. They got nasty wings too.
They do.
In sports, there was a decline in the popularity of sports in the last 5 years. So now you notice that there's always a sexy sportscaster that is in the mix now. So in every sport, golf, they have nothing to do with golf. No, then have nothing to do with NASCAR, nothing to do with football. But you put them up there because now it brings back the entertainment and the popularity.
I see that.
Hey, Captain Yadon brought out something heavy.
Hooters wings be nasty as hell, but it stay packed.
It stay packed because they walking around in drawers. The bewitching of naughtiness. Yeah. While you're in there, ain't even hungry. You're in there talking about, give me 30 wings. Greasy as a mug. Give me 30 of them greasies.
What was the last thing?
The end of it.
It says, verse 12. So we're in Wisdom of Solomon 4:12. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure the things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
It says the wandering of concupiscence, those evil thoughts, those evil sexual thoughts. That's what, and Bishop brought it out earlier. In Babylon and all these different religions and all these different Balaam, it's all about getting you. That's the one of the biggest tools they have is sex. If they get your mind concentrate on sex, because us men, sex will move you. What the scripture say? Many have gone out of their wits for women. It ain't just women. It's what the women got to offer. That's what they gone out of their minds for. They trying to figure out how they can get that. And they know that if they can get you in that evil concupiscence, they got you. That's why all the orgies and all that stuff that they do in their rituals or whatever, that's how they kept the men locked with the sex. That's why you see women paraded all over the place. That's why you see on TV, even with the homosexuality. You a dude, if you a dude and you like dudes, why you dressed up like a woman? Why you got breasts? You a dude, you like dudes. Get you a dude. Why you I can't figure out. You a guy, that you like guys and the guy that you with look just like a woman? You should be with somebody with some muscles. You got breasts, man. It's actual women over there. Tell me that ain't witchcraft. That's it, Bishop.
No, talk a little more.
I want to read this real quick in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 9. Read this. Because you know what? This is so key, especially in these last days and times that we're living in. A lot of times in in fact, hold that. Jeremiah 17, verse 9, and I'll precept that with Isaiah 1 and 9. Jeremiah 17 and verse 9, real quick. In fact, I'll read it. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? You see that? So a lot of times our mind will tend to make us think that we are more in control of things than we really are. I'll give you a prime example. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 1. Right? Let's read this. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 9. Now, when you notice this and you read this scripture, your mind's going to start to tell you something a little bit different than for you to really imagine yourself fitting into what the scripture's actually trying to tell you. Read this.
The book of Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 9. Except the Lord of hosts has left unto us a very small remnant.
Unless the Most High had ordained his spirit in a remnant of small men on the planet. Read.
We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
We would have all had that homosexual spirit. Now, I know all of us, we read that and go, nah, not me. I would have still been out in the world. I wouldn't have been no homo. And that's your mind being deceived. Your mind's being deceived. Satan already knows he's going to get you one way or he's going to get you another way. Maybe your thing might not just be you open and flamboyant with it. Okay, you're going to go to jail now. And now that spirit is going to go on you to want to lie with a man to try to get yourself off. Satan plays at a real deep level, man. That's the reason why the best thing, you know why this scripture is really so good, Bishop? Because it teaches a spiritual man, even if I can't see it myself, let me not wander into that because there's things beyond my understanding.
Right.
Even if I don't think that I would be a homosexual, because the Bible told me I would be if I didn't have these laws. Better for me to keep these commandments than to not keep them and find out.
Yeah. Right. 7 more demons jump on.
Yeah. Right.
But Negroes think that they're deeper than the Bible. So you'll have a dumb Negro say, you know what? Let me put it to the test. Let me go out to the world. I don't think I'm going to be homosexual. Let me go out and find out. And then you come back into the body. Now that you've been torn all up and down. Yeah. Now that you've been broken down. I don't want to find out whether that's true or not.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm
forget
good.
that.
I'm good keeping God's laws. Okay, God, this is what you say? Cool. I don't need to test that.
Right.
Yeah.
Along with it being deceived, like what was the can't saying multiple wives, they think it's okay to lay with more than one woman.
Right.
And that's still that Sodom spirit.
Right.
They try to deceive themselves into thinking that that's manly, when really they're breaking God's law.
And a brother actually said it on social media a couple days ago. I saw it. He said, you know what? If it wasn't for these camps that push multiple wives, a lot of brothers wouldn't even call themselves Israelites.
Right.
If it wasn't for the idea of them being able to fulfill their lust,
I can freak
they
in the
wouldn't
name
even
of the
be
Lord.
they wouldn't even be in this truth because they're not in it for the knowledge. They're not in it for the salvation and the deliverance that comes by keeping the commandments. They're coming into it because they're like, oh, well, this is a avenue where 2 women I can get with and they're cool with it. They're okay. And the same thing is no different from a lot of these women in this truth. You'll be seeing some of these women and you think that they're really in the truth because of the fact that they want to keep God's laws. A lot of them are in its truth because they know, oh, okay, IUIC, we teach marriage. Oh, wait, you mean that these men, they got to have a job, they got to have their own place, and they got to take care of their wife and kids? Oh, hell, where do I sign up at? You mean all I got to do is put on a purple dress and put a gold damn bead on my head, and I got this? This come with the platinum package. This the platinum package that you get out of society.
Hey, they come in looking to bewitch.
Yeah.
They come in looking to bewitch. I'm gonna entice them, make them lay with me, and then I'm going to the leadership. You got them every minute now, Negro.
Right.
I know the doctrine.
Right.
And what you said, brother, and Captain, is so true. I'm gonna tell you, when I came in, you know, you're like, damn, you gotta give up weed, can't eat shrimp and crab. Like, damn, all right, well, but you can have multiple women. Oh,
I'm in.
cool. So I can tap more than one chick.
Right.
All right, cool. But then when you start understanding the fullness of, and you grow and understanding, like, that's not what God had deemed for us in this time, and also that you got to make, because I know some of the brothers in those camps, they hold fast to what they was taught. Right. But they're not even maintaining these women. These dudes is bums. Every last one I don't know, I've been in this 22 years, I don't know no multiple marriages that's worked. Not one. I can't name one. And I know scores of them. Because always based out of lust. Dudes is bums, don't take him. And just think about from this position right now, us who are married men, with women for the most part that allegedly are godly. You know how much flipping work it is?
I am as nerve-wracking.
You know how much staggering work it is? You think I want 2 of those in my life? Hell no, man.
no.
I don't want, listen to me. The apostle said, man, so if that's the case, we can't get rid of them, maybe it's better not to marry. Hell, I want 2. One godly woman is more than a handful. Only thing I can imagine myself with a second wife for is sex. That's the only thing I can rate back, and that's sinful. Meaning, because you can't take it for lust. Because other than that, I don't want to be talking. I got to talk to her and work through her problem, and I don't want that in my life. Hell no. Hell no. I think that trust me, sex ain't all that. You be freaking stressed. You freaking, both of them arguing.
Help me.
Unless you just hoeing, and that's what you are. You a mad hoe. But if you try to be godly, trust me, you don't want that in your life. Their minds ain't right. Oh gosh. Quick. Freaking complaining. So I want to. Let me go back to my Babylon. I want to. What time is it? Let me go for a minute. Oh yeah, let's go. Daniel 1.
The book of Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 3.
I'm going back to evil communication, corrupt good manners.
And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding, science, and such as had the ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning of the tongue of the Chaldeans.
So now, what Nebuchadnezzar wanted, he wanted people, the elite of the people, that he can teach the learnings and the ways and the tongues of the Chaldeans. Notice he wanted the elite of Israel to learn their ways. Why did he want the elite for? So they could disseminate down to the rest of the people. You know something? If you can get the elite of our people to understand, they set up who they consider the elite today. And then for some reason they make them the elite. They know that if we can work with them, that goes back to this whole Margaret Sanger. She understood what that whole thing. What was her whole thing with Planned Parenthood? What's it called again? Eugenics. Right. That what did they do? They went after the so-called elite or the pastors of the churches to disseminate the information to the people. They'll find who are the mouthpiece of the people. They did it in the time of Maccabees. They went to Mattathias. He was the leader of the people in that town. If we can get him to sway him, he can sway the masses. And that goes back to what the brother Captain was saying about Jay-Z. They'll go to the elite of all people, or so-called, I hate using the word elite because them niggas ain't elite. You know, the abominable of all people, set them up, and then because we are so fixated on their lives, I got so much I want to say right now. Who spends their time watching cribs and stuff like that? I could never sit down and spend hours watching how people live when you don't create that for yourself. Look at his house. Wow, listen, I'm going to show you. Let's walk into my bedroom. This is where it all goes down at. You're like, wow, that's where it all goes down. Nigga, you ain't going down there with nobody. It ain't your bed. You watching where he doing it at. Look at all my... Who does that? Who sits around watching stupid shit? You got to be a friggin' retard about that. Meanwhile, while you sit there watching it, while you're watching that, he's actually not there. I hope you know that was pre-recorded, and he's out getting the money right? And you're sitting down there watching another man's life. You're a fool.
Hey, I'll tell you another one. And this is what most brothers do.
You're an ass.
Now watch this. Most brothers do this and they don't think nothing of it. But it's the same spirit. They'll sit and talk about for hours. Yeah, LeBron, he dunked, and LeBron's better than
No, don't say that.
LeBron's
No.
better.
What do you mean?
Man, come on, man. You can't go tell me that. They do that for hours.
Well, here you go. You watch that stuff, and then you know what it does? It programs you. It puts a spirit of covetousness on you. That's why dudes go pick up that pistol. That's why they go sell drugs, because you don't know you programmed to want that. And then you don't want it the right way. Well, I'm going to get education. I'm going to build myself up. And you go after the cardinal way. Yeah. That's how you get your success. I want that. Yeah, Bez.
And you know what? You chase that, though. And in the time that you're chasing it, you ain't getting no knowledge. You're spending all your time worrying about dribbling. And 1 in 5 million actually make it. And now you stupid. You done lived your whole life chasing a dream that you ain't going to obtain.
And then if you do make it, there's a good possibility the white hire come past you and grab your crotch.
Right. Stick his finger.
Big old long sissy.
I wanted to paint a picture for the people listening.
Loud.
I wanted to paint the picture for the people listening. Imagine a rat trap, right? And then the only exits you have for the rat is the gun, the drugs, jail, right? Then you put desire in the rat to want what you see other people have. Then the only ways you cut off every other avenue through the education system, through opportunities, through what they call the unions, right? But then you make the only avenue to get to the desire of riches and all that stuff, what? Through the guns, through the drugs, or through entertainment, or what? And then at the end result, those two exits, you're gonna wind up where? In slavery, right? So it's that crafty counsel the Bible talks about.
Right.
And it goes into like what we read earlier about the enchanting, repetition, putting it through music, putting it through media. Mm-hmm. And then it all leads our people to the same endings.
Right, I see it. Let's go to Daniel 3. I was reading about in Daniel's 1 concerning finding wise princes to learn the ways of the Chaldeans. Now watch this. Let's go to Daniel's 3, and I want verse 1 through 4.
The book of Daniel, chapter 3 and verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Now watch this. Remember, back in chapter 1, it spoke about Daniel's 1. It spoke about verse 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of the eunuchs, and said he should bring the certain of the children of Israel, of the king's seed, and the princes. Right? Chapter 3, it says, verse 3, then the princes and the governors. These princes that came in were set up. They end up being set up in these positions. So in today's society, the mouthpiece for people are Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, LeBron James, Kirk Franklin, Oprah Winfrey. They set them up. Now he said he brought all them there. Now watch this, verse 4.
We haven't read 3 yet.
Okay, finish that.
Verse 3. Then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Now remember, Nebuchadnezzar took those in, fed them, traded them good, set them up, put them in positions, and now said, okay, I need you to do my bidding. Read on.
That Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. They stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up.
Read on.
Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, how you say that? Dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
So now, remember, Nebuchadnezzar set up the image. He said, all you're going to bow down this image. Then he put people that look just like you that he set up and said, you're all going to bow down. And then everybody else is going to look towards their representative of their people and say, well, if he's doing it, Al Sharpton say, I can't judge homosexuality. I'm a Baptist preacher, and God has not given me authority to judge homosexuality. And then simple niggas say, well, Al Sharpton said it, then I can't judge it either.
T.D. Jakes
said it. Juanita Bottom said it. Jay-Z said there's nothing wrong with homosexuals today. It's a new black. Well, it gotta be. That's their business. Lil Wayne kissed baby in the mouth, then it gotta be okay. And they got everybody to bow down to it. But there was one who wouldn't bow down. There was a few that was reserved, like Daniel, like, I ain't bowing down to crap. Y'all can go ahead and follow that foolishness. I ain't doing it. They tried that with Mattathias. They tried that with in 2 Maccabees 7 with
the women and the sons.
No, chapter 6 with Eleazar. If we get you to do it, everybody will follow in suit. And his esteemed age, he said, nah, I'm not even going to play like I'm doing it because it might cause people to error and put that stumbling block before my brother. But guess what? Today you see it. You go watch a Jay-Z concert. When the music come on, he's like, throw up the rock, and the whole audience is like this. You got 200,000 people like this. On what? On a word. The music is playing, is programming you. He said, yo, throw up the rock, and everybody go. He's moving.
Zombies.
He's moving hundreds of thousands of people with just a word. If that ain't a bewitching, then I need to be retaught what bewitching is.
Beyonce, she got a religion.
Say ho, va, and everybody screaming. I bet you if he scream out, kill that man, the whole audience will do it. He controls the people. Remember, when it says that evil communication corrupt good manners, communication can change the way you think. Music can either make you feel happy, can make you sad, can make you angry. I don't know if you have experienced before, but I know I listen to some music, and I'm driving, and I start speeding. I'm like, the beat is hard. I'm like, you never get them before? You like, or you put some music on, and now all of a sudden you feel sleepy. You relaxed. Music will put spurts on you or take spurts off of you. Real quick, go to 1 Samuel.
Bishop, if I may, that's how a lot of brothers got caught up in the Christian church. A lot of times with that, and I put myself out there to be the first one to admit. I remember a lot of times I would be in a Christian church.
Bring it out.
And my temperament, my temperament would be perfectly fine. But then I'm walking in, and as I'm hearing the song, it's like it just tugs on your heartstrings. And I'm like, damn, I'm getting broken down, and I'm not seeing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really seeing nobody crying. You're not seeing, you know what I mean? It's not gotten to that point. Nothing tragic is happening. But just the way they do them chords, they know how to put the right vibration on you to where you're trying to hug another. You know what I mean? You're just in this broken down, weak, this frail spirit.
You think, damn, is that the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost coming over me? I feel it. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Bishop, recently I had a brother come to me, and we were speaking. He said, he's new. He said, hey, is it cool for me to, play drums? I'm like, yeah, that's cool, brother. You can play drums. That's lawful long you ain't doing on the Sabbath. He's like, okay, all right. He was like, but I play it on Sundays. I'm like, bro, you in the church playing it? He said, yeah, but I don't worship in there. I said, brother, come up out of there. Come up out. So it's just going back to what the bishop is saying.
Yeah, it was 1 Samuel 16.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 16 and verse 14.
Is that the point?
You want it all the way down to the...
Yeah, read it from 14. Let's read that.
14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
Good.
And Saul's servant said unto him, behold, now an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man, who is a cunning player on an harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well.
Do you understand what that just said? That music can change. We just heard music communicates to you something. So evil communication will corrupt good manners. Righteous communication will what? Communicate righteous manners. That's why the music in Israel right now, if you got to go outside of Israel to listen to music, you see what's happening.
Right.
Really, if you race to listen to I don't know, whatever these rappers' names, Young Jock or whatever.
Yachty.
Whatever these guys' name is. If you raise feed your spirit with that, because in Israel the music is so thorough right now. The music is so thorough right now in Israel. You don't got to. If you like rap music, there's enough. There's more than you can't even finish listening to in a day.
We got jazz.
So I was telling you, let that be what is being recited through your mind, that you rehearse these righteous acts, that it becomes one with you. When I wakest down, when I lies down, when I risest up in your speech, let that be what's programming you. But if you still dabble back into whoever these people out here I'm in love with, I keep on saying Coco, that's what I remember, with that crap out there, then there you go.
Panda,
Then
panda,
you
panda.
wonder why you think a certain way, you behave a certain way. You see white boys listen to rock music, they want to kill their parents. Because they listen to that crap and it programmed it in a dead state.
Bishop, it's sad, but some brothers and sisters, they congregate among us, and right after we break bread, they jet off. They don't even salute. Shalom, everybody, and they go home to go flip on the channel.
I want to read a scripture on that if I can. Sirach 27. Sirach chapter 27 and verse 13. Because that goes to show, Captain, in body, they're here physically present, but in their mind, they're still plugged into the world. You see what I'm saying? Because when you come into the truth, this becomes your life. I say that all the time. Your entertainment now becomes the truth. The way that you process things, it becomes the truth. Your friends, it becomes the truth. When you try to compartmentalize the truth and you say, okay, well, you know what? I'll come here to get the scriptures, but I'll go there to get the entertainment. I'll go there to get the food. I'll go there to do this and that and the third. You're not really in the truth. That's right. You're not. You're just a Christian still. That's just going to a weekend service, just in a different location. Because you did the exact same thing when you was at the church. You went to the Sunday service, you popped in, and then you popped right out, and you were living whatever life you was living. You come in now with fringes in a border of blue, and you do the exact same thing. There's no real transformation. Let's read this. This is Sirach chapter 27 and verse 13.
The book of Sirach, chapter 27 and verse 13. The discourse of fools is irksome.
You know what the word irksome means? What's the prefix of the word irksome? Yes. So God is saying the things that Israel talks about, it irks the hell out of them. A lot of times we don't realize it, but when you just have these light conversations, oh, how much did the LeBron score here? How much talking about rompers, this, that, and the third. It's like these people are the most afflicted people on the planet, but they're talking about rompers. These people are the most last hired, first fired, high STD rate, high blood pressure, this, that, and the third, and you're talking about a man in a damn onesie. It says that the things that my people talk about, it irks me. That's what God is saying here. It says the discourse of fools is irksome. Read. And the fools, that's anybody that's not meditating upon God's laws. You're not keeping God's laws. You're not meditating upon God's laws. Read.
And their sport is in the wantonness of sin.
You see that? It says their sport. In other words, their entertainment, their style, their sense of fashion, how they process things, the way that they joke, the way that they talk, the way that they get down. It's based upon the desires of sin, the wantonness of sin. That's why anytime you see America put something out, it's never lawful. Yep. Here it is, you got these damn rompers, and the thing ends up right at a man's ends up right at a man's testicles. It's nothing that's supposed to be making like how the scripture says, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments. You're never going to see the fashion promote the garments that we're wearing. They said, no, that looks like too hardcore. Put on this romper. Put on a damn dress.
And if you tough, get the army fatigue one. Get the soldier romper.
I always wonder who was the first dude to put it on, and I always wonder in my mind.
LeBron.
In my mind, I try to say, how did you buy it or given to you, and you actually like put your leg in and your arm? There's nothing that ever just like in the secrecy of your own room say, "Nah, I can't do this."
Pulled it all the way up to your sack.
And then they have those snaps right there.
You're a grown man. You got a camel toe.
I'm telling you, that's why the nation. That's why the nation don't respect us. The black man's a joke. He's a clown.
Bishop, you got to get butt naked to go to the bathroom in the stars.
Yeah, you got to take the whole thing off.
Don't do that.
Hey, watch this. I want to bring something. You go ahead. You on this right here.
Okay, I'm just gonna quote it. Remember, men, what the bishop brought out, Most High definitely led his spirit, because we all had to take, everybody that's watching this, we definitely had to take stock of what we have around us. If you came in the truth and your house is still, things around your house don't have nothing to do with the truth, you must examine yourself. You must put yourself in an environment around this truth. Is there a menorah in your house? Is there something that correlates to this truth that you surround yourself by? Is this something in every place where you spend a lot of your time at? Is there something that you could correlate this truth to? Ezekiel 9:4 set a mark upon them men that sigh and cry with all abominations. So you got to examine yourself. Are you sighing and crying? Is it in your mindset, some of these abominations that's going on? Because if it ain't in your mindset, you ain't getting the mark. You ain't sealed.
And watch this. The scripture that you brought out earlier about when Christ said, once you converted, then go teach the people. There really is a lot, and you touched on it. There really is a lot of us in here. We come to class on Saturday morning, Saturday evening. We stay all day Saturday. As soon as the class is over, okay, shalom, I'm out. And you right back into the world. Monday comes Sunday through Friday, it's all worldly. Every once in a while you talk to a brother or sister that's in the truth or whatever, but everything is pretty much worldly. You ain't really, your life ain't revolving around the truth. And it goes back to Revelations. I'm going to read it real quick. Revelations chapter 3 and verse 15. Christ said, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. Cold meaning you ain't in the truth at all. You ain't even trying. Hot meaning your whole life revolves around God's word, keeping the commandments, teaching others, fellowshipping with those that are like-minded. That's your whole life. Everything about you is that. That's on fire. That's hot. It says that neither thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou were cold or hot. Christ said, I wish you was one or the other, because you don't realize you're deceiving yourselves. If you lukewarm, if you cold and lukewarm, you still gonna get damnation. You still getting destruction. I wish you go ahead and choose, because you're fooling yourself. It says, verse 16, so then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I'm gonna spew you out of my mouth. So a lot of people that they playing, they say they in the truth and they ain't. They fully bewitched, like the class. They fully bewitched by what's going on around them, and they playing church. They just Christians with fringes.
So I pray it was edifying to everybody out there. Visit us at www.israelunite.org.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.